we have tulips blooming. Now, I'm fairly certain that these did not start out so red. They've changed. If you look at this one, it's actually yellow on this side. I think they were, I have pictures of them. I think they were peach. And they're so lovely with these behind them if you get in the right angle. Tizzy's hanging out with her mama. I have to get this video recorded on the tulips before they die, because tulips only last a short bit of time. And she keeps sitting down right by them. So there's one that's not opened up yet, and these flowers only last about a week. The genius for this is Tulipa, which is kind of a bit of a different spelling. It looks like Tulipa, or Tulipa, but it's Tulipa gesneriana. And that's the scientific name. It's in the Liliaceae family, which is the lily family. I didn't know that. I kind of thought tulips were in their own thing. I'm learning so much. There are about 75 to 100 species of tulips, and the majority of tulips are under the gesneriana species, which is this one. It's your basic one. That's also known as the Deadheading tulip or the garden tulip. We got friends. It is fun to shop for unique tulips instead of just buying the ones in the big name stores. You can shop online nowadays, as opposed to when I first started my garden years ago, and find some really unique ones with different shapes. The name is believed to be from a Persian word for turban, because the tulips resembled a head covering the wound up cloth. So if you look at this, I guess it's like a cloth wound up. I think it's more of the bud. She's curious what I'm doing, but maybe this is more like the turban that goes around the head. Tulips are bulbs that are planted in the autumn and bloom in the spring. And after they bloom, as in all bulbs, the foliage must be allowed to die back so that they bloom again next year. Because of the stiff leaves, you see these are almost like rubbery. So they're very stiff, as opposed to the daffodils, which is more of a grass-like. And so because they are stiff, the tulips are easier to allow to die back, as they do not have leaves that fall and spread out all over my precious garden space. So they pretty much take up this much space, and they continue to take up that much space. My daffodils and some others, they'll end up falling over, and they would take up a huge amount of space, and I wouldn't be able to have anything else close to them. After flowering, the tulips should be deadheaded to prevent them from creating seeds. But I find tulip care fairly nominal and easy. So after the tulips bloom, you see there's leaves, but this is on a stem, and I just cut the stem off to deadhead them. Otherwise, this part will go to seed, and all of the energy will be applied here to create the seeds. If you cut them off, the energy is going to be applied at putting all the nutrients back into the bulb in the ground. There is one flower per stem, and each flower has 3 petals, and underneath the petals are 3 sepals. which together are called tuples. So I'm learning here. I saw this with some of the other flowers and I didn't quite understand what a tuple was. But, okay, so we have here, you can learn with me, 1, 2, 3 petals. Okay, these 3 together are petals. And then underneath them you have a 1, 2, 3 sepals. And then all 6 of them together are called tuples. So the petals and the sepals together are called tuples. Well, I just learned something. And then down in there you have where they make seeds. And you can clearly, easily see all of that. I'm sitting in the wrong spot. I got my shadow on it all. I moved a little bit so you can see. Let's see if we can zoom in and get it clear. That's pretty cool, huh? So the petals are mostly solid color, but there are some striped varieties, and the interesting thing about that is the striped varieties were originated from a virus that spread from aphids. So nature created something new. Which makes me wonder about these because they're part yellow and part red. I wonder if something odd happened to them over the years. The leaves are simple lanceolate shaped. I remember lanceolate because it looks like a lance, which is like a something you fight with. And they alternate on the stem. Let's see. Well, we have one. Oops, let's open this up. We have one here and one here for this one. Let's look at this one. They're almost, it says it alternates, so I guess it does, because you have this one came out first and then this one came out and now this one come out, so it's left, right, left. That's super cool. Tulips can be planted in pots, and I did that once and I absolutely loved it. I'll stop the video here and insert a couple photos of that. And tulips can also be forced to bloom inside during the winter by chilling it for 15 to 20 weeks first before planting it. And there's more instructions online. I would Google that before you try playing with that, and I might want to do that sometimes. So each species of tulip vary in blooming time. Some are early spring, some mid-spring, and some late spring. And they also vary in size. These are like an average size. Some of them have double petals or are fringed. I think I've had fringed ones before. I'll see if I can find a photo of them. Or they're solid or striped. Now here's the deal, the bad deal about tulips. Underground animals such as voles and moles like to eat tulips, and squirrels dig them up, so they have a lot of enemies, and they can be actually very costly because, like my daffodils, these are sailboat daffodils. That's because you see their petals are pushed back like a sail. But the sailboat daffodils are just prolific and come back year after year after year because they're poisonous to the underground animals. But the tulips are loved by the underground animals. And so I have to, they just disappear. And I have to keep planting them every fall if I want some. There's a few in a few places that, like this one, that have survived for a while. But most of them that I've purchased are not coming back. I have some other patches that I'll add yet to this video at the end of different varieties though. So tulips make great cut flowers. I mean, if I just cut this down, way down there, and put it in a vase, that would be gorgeous. But tulips do only last about a week. Now here's an interesting tidbit that I learned. Holland, we even have packages that say Holland tulips. Like Holland is the brand name. Holland being Dutch, they produce and sell a large amount of tulips, but actually, so we all think about tulips as coming from Holland. And they're little, I think about those little wooden shoes too. So tulips, though, originated in Central Asia, and as being a part of Central Asia, are the national flower of Turkey and Iran. So these tulips are important to the people in Turkey and Iran. Ooh, isn't that lovely? So if you go to my website, I'm going to put up previous pictures and list the varieties that I've had in the past. Many of them that have since disappeared. These tulips are beginning to bloom are in the front, and my teat-to-teat daffodils are still blooming. I love them. They bloom a long time, although they're almost done. I thought I would be able to figure out the variety of these, but I'm not sure I can. Oh, that's beautiful. These are a bakery Lilac Wonder tulip. I absolutely love them. They bring me a bit of joy every year. They have a lilac pink with a yellow in them, and they're one of my last tulips to bloom. So they have a mid to late blooming time. Check out the center and the shape. They are almost like a cup shape. We'll look at a few of them. Aren't they beautiful? Clearly has 1, 2, 3 inner petals, and 1, 2, 3 outer petals. They keep kind of getting mixed in with some of my iris, but I can still see them. They're so adorable. Along with the inside having yellow, the outside at the bottom has yellow going into the violet pink. They look best from standing upright and looking down into the centers. Look how beautiful these tulips look. Among the teat-to-teats that are almost done blooming, but they still give just enough yellow color. Let's see what it looks like this way. It's just a lovely little spot.